The word for the day is witness. While I was in the army in Germany, I had to share a room with some other people, and my bunk was over in the corner. And in my corner, I would set out my Bible. I'd put out gospel literature, gospel tracts, and share. And I had a little theme song that I played every once in a while, and it was "Brighten the corner where you are." And I'd play that once in a while, but everybody knew where I stood. Well, on one particular night, some people decided to have a beer party in the room that I was in. And I usually just ignored them, and I was trying to sleep and just let them do their thing. Well, somebody had picked up one of the gospel tracts that said, God's simple plan of salvation. And then he spoke up and he says, "Ha ha, I know what this is all about. They want your money because at the end of it, they said they want us to get in touch with them." And the Spirit of the Lord moved in my heart. And I bolted up and sit up and I said, that's not what it says. That's not its purpose. The purpose is to share the good news of Jesus Christ. And I told him about how he was a sinner. He was lost. He needed to give his heart to Christ. And they wanted to encourage him to come to Christ. I was just as bold as could be. And God gave me a boldness, and I said what I had to say. I laid back down. And would you know it? The party was over. They picked up their booze. They left the room. And it was all gone, just like that. I'm simply saying, God will give you the grace to stand. You and I have nothing to be ashamed of. We don't need to be ashamed of Jesus Christ. We can share our faith. Yes, we need to do it with grace. We need to do it with a spirit of love, not a spirit of condemnation, but out of real compassion. And compassion is having your hurt in my heart. But folks, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed to stand. And Scripture says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to all who believe." You know, those people who hear you, they may mock and laugh in a group, but once they get away from the group and the bottom falls out of their life, they're going to look for somebody that's in touch with God, and they'll come looking for you. So don't be ashamed to share your faith, to stand your ground, and be a witness. The word for the day is witness.